Hey everybody, how y'all doing on this fine afternoon? I'm here a little early today. I figure I might come out a little bit earlier to try to avoid these mosquitoes. They're still bad over here though. They're not as bad as they are when the sun starts going down. Anyway, Lord's been talking to me today. I've been working on some plans. About what to do. And, put a perspective about things. I gotta tear this house down by hand, piece by piece, and put it back together again somewhere else. I done come up with a plan. We're gonna tear it down. We're gonna take it apart. And we're gonna rebuild it on 2 frames. And I'm hightailing it. I'm cashing out. There's a reason for everything. Because that I was sitting here. It's gonna be a minute. You're gonna leave right away. It'll take us some time to do, but that's the plan. Ain't much choice in it. That's a lot of work. But it'll get done. I'm a builder. I come a long line of builders. My grandpa was a builder. I know how to build. I can tear down and I can build up. I'm a daughter of the king. Anyways, I was talking to the Lord and I was reading the Bible and came across the book of Haggai. I had a message. I think it goes along with what, made me think about things. Anyway, the book of Haggai. That's another one of the short books. Now people don't pay attention to those short books. Not many people preach from them, especially the prophets, the minor prophets. It's only 2 chapters. But it's really important 2 chapters. Shouldn't be left out. It talks about in the post when after the Jewish community came out of exile, in Jerusalem, they had needed the temple was the ruins, and they needed to rebuild it. What got them started on rebuild it was Haggai's prophetic message to them. The message of the Lord motivated them to get busy. He says the message is delivered to Zerubbabel, which is the governor of Judah, and the high priest Joshua. It seems that them, along with the rest of the people, had kind of got complacent and had prioritized their own selves, their own comfort, their own homes. and allowed the house of God to just go to waste. And we're too caught up in their own lives to pay attention to having a dwelling place for the Lord. And the first verse is the core message is a rebuke of their misplaced priorities. Haggai directly challenged the people's excuse. He said, the time has not yet come for the Lord's house to be rebuilt. So, y'all mean, is it not time to rebuild this house for the Lord? Don't y'all concerned that the Lord don't have a house? You know, he says, y'all's houses are, look at you, have a house. Your houses are in good shape, but the Lord's isn't. What's more important? Your comfort or the Lord's house. The shape it's in. God's not pleased with that, and that's why you're having such a hard time. Y'all been struggling economically. He said you sow much but harvest little, and drink and eat without feeling satisfied. You know, he said y'all you're suffering because you forgot the Lord. They did what them idolaters did, put them by the wayside. They has set the Lord to the side. And it goes on to in the next session it was a direct command from God. It said it's to go up into the mountains and bring down timber and build my house so that I may take pleasure in it and be honored. Haggai emphasized that their lack of prosperity is a direct result of their neglect of the temple. He said the heavens withheld dew and the earth withheld its produce because the people focused on their own affairs, while the temple, which symbolized God's presence, was in disrepair. They wasn't concerned whether God was dwelling with them or not. They weren't concerned with His presence, whether it was there or not. They were just kind of concerned with their own selves. And because of that, they're facing some divine consequences for forgetting God. If their devotion wasn't, they weren't devoted to Him, they were lazy in their devotion. It was lacking. When you lack in your devotion to God, you are going to lack in everything else. So, because of this, like I said, they decided they was going to obey. They obeyed the voice. It says that they all the people, Zerubbabel, Joshua, and the remnant of the people, they obeyed the voice of the Lord, their God. And they started to do the work to build the temple. When God responded, He said, I'm with you. You're working. You're starting to work on it. I'm with you. They started to put the effort forth. Once they started to put the effort forth, God said, I'm with you. I'm on your side. I'm with you. And they got to work on it. And they started building the Lord's house. But they got out there and they started building it, and there's a lot of them that was from the older generation, and they started looking back on the old temple, thinking about how beautiful that old temple was, the glory of that old temple, that first temple that was built by Solomon. And they started comparing it to what they was building now. And they started thinking, this ain't nowhere near what it was. This second temple kind of shabby. So they started to get discouraged and lose their motivation. The Haggai told them, and I just want to read this part. He said, let's start in chapter 2, verse 4. He said, Yet now be strong, O Zerubbabel, saith the Lord, and be strong, O Joshua, son of Josedech, the high priest. And be strong, O ye people of the land, saith the Lord, and work, for I am with you, saith the Lord of hosts. According to the word that I covenanted with you when you came out of Egypt, so my spirit remaineth among you. Fear ye not. For thus saith the Lord of hosts, Yet once, it is a little while, and I will shake the heavens and the earth, and the sea and the dry land. And I will shake all the nations, and desire of all the nations shall come. And I will fill this house with glory, saith the Lord of hosts. The silver is mine, and the gold is mine, saith the Lord of hosts. The glory of this latter house shall be greater than of the former, saith the Lord of hosts. And in this place will I give peace, saith the Lord of hosts. He told them, don't worry what it looks like. Don't worry about the work of your hands, whether it's sufficient or not. When my glory fills it, it'll be greater than that last one. How do you think that works? Because God had a plan. He's saying that the desire of all nations would come to that temple because of him, the one that would feel it, the presence, the glory of the Lord that would fill it would be greater than the glory that filled it before, because he was so much more pleased with that work than he was the last. Then Haggai asked him, he goes on to talk about spiritual purity by asking him this analogy about the priestly law, about holiness and uncleanness, and about you touch a dead body and you become unclean, but just because you come in contact with something, holy doesn't make you holy. There's more to it. There has to be a devotion to it. Not just a passing fascination with it. And it was highlighted that the people's lack of spiritual dedication was defiling all their labor and sacrifices. He then promised that from that day forward, now that they've recommitted to the temple, God would bless them. This is about obedience leading to blessing. That's why God was going to bless it more, because they were more obedient. Their obedience was going to lead them to more abundant blessings. And then at the end, the final message was a prophecy, a messianic promise for Zerubbabel, the governor. These mosquitoes. And God declared he would overthrow the thrones of kingdoms and destroy the power of foreign nations. And God promised Zerubbabel, he said, I chose you as a signet ring. The signet ring was a symbol of authority and a sign of royal succession. Well, this was the messianic prophecy that was pointing to Jesus. Because it was pointing to a future king who would come from the lineage of Zerubbabel, the line of David, and rule with God's ultimate authority. This made me think about them building, God's house, and how, they was thinking about the first temple, and the second, the next one wasn't going to be as beautiful as the one before. And I mean, think about, how we do and how I've done before, especially now with this situation. It's like, I had my trailer, and it's just like, it was destroyed, and then we had to get this, try to start over with this, and the whole time I was like, always trying to make something better, and always turning out to be not as great as what you thought it was going to be. And how really it's if you look at it in terms of life itself, it's always a never-ending series of that. Why would we be concerned about it anyway, when everything, your whole life is nothing but a series of just temporary dwelling places. This body itself is nothing but a temporary tent, dwelling place. So whether you live in a mansion or a tent here in this life, they're all temporary anyway. What's it matter if they look like what they look like on the outside? Or what the comfort level is? If they got the Spirit of the Lord in them. If He's with you. Glory of the latter be greater than the first. Also made me think about what Jesus said. John chapter 14, verse 2, when he left his disciples. He said, "Let not your heart be troubled. You believe in God, believe also in me. In my Father's house are many mansions. If it were not so, I would have told you. I go to prepare a place for you. And if I go and prepare a place for you, I will come again and receive you to myself, that where I am, there ye may be also." One of the words used for mansion is also translated in other, it's in other translations is the word is used as a dwelling place or room. It wasn't about the opulence when he said, it's used as mansion as the word in the KJV version, King James version. It's about abundance of space and being welcome. In other words, Jesus was saying, there's plenty of room for you where I'm going. We got room for everybody. Don't try to crowd in. Don't think you're going to keep somebody else out. Don't think you're going to get left out. If he's with you, there's plenty of room. We all got a place. The thing about it is, because he's there, it's the last one we'll ever need. I love y'all. I'll see y'all later.